for this video, I am going to teach you how to factor difference of two squares. But before that, we must learn how to identify difference of two squares. So there are two conditions in identifying difference of two squares. The first one is there must be two terms, both of which are perfect squares. If you do not know what are perfect squares, or you have no idea what numbers or what variables are perfect squares, I created a table in your module, and merong mga example dyan, yung mga kadalasang ginagamit sa mga math problems. Okay, so that is the first condition. There must be two terms. Both terms must be perfect squares. The second condition is there must be a minus sign between the two terms. So, let's say I am going to write the conditions here. So the first term must be perfect square. Also, the second term must be perfect square. And then they must be separated by a minus sign. Okay, so let's identify these examples if they are difference of two squares. So let's say we have 4 examples. First one is 4x squared minus 9. Second one is negative 25 plus 36x squared. The third one is 8x to the third power, or x cubed minus 1. And the last one is x cubed minus 16. So we will identify which among this given is a difference of two squares. So let's examine example A here. So the first term is 4x squared. 4 is a perfect square, yes. X squared is a perfect square. Para ma-identify natin if the variable is a perfect square, just take a look at the exponent, and if the exponent is a multiple of 2, therefore, that is a perfect square. So in this case, 2, yes, 2 is a multiple of 2, of course. So 4x squared is a perfect square. And then 9 also is a perfect square. The terms are separated by a minus sign. So therefore, we can conclude that example A is a difference of two squares. How about the second example, or example letter B? So negative 25, the first term medyo nakakaduda na agad kasi negative siya. And take note na walang perfect square numbers ang negative, lahat sila positive. So this is already wrong, of course. But the second term is a perfect square. 36 is a perfect square. X to the second power is a perfect square. Again, take a look at a sign separating the two terms. This is a plus sign. So ang condition natin ay dapat they are separated with a minus sign or by a minus sign. So therefore, hindi pa din siya nag-comply dun sa dalawang condition. Therefore, we can conclude that the second given is not a difference of two squares. Okay, how about the third given? So we have 8x cubed, or x to the third power. 8 is not a perfect square. X cubed is not a perfect square kasi hindi naman multiple ni 2 si 3. Okay? So 2, 4, 6, yun yung mga multiples ng 2. So therefore, hindi perfect square yung unang term. But 1 is a perfect square and they are separated by a minus sign. But then, the first term is not a perfect square. Therefore, hindi pa din sila nag-comply dun sa dalawang conditions. Kaya, this is also not a difference of 2 squares. Okay, and the last example, x cubed is not a perfect square. So, umpisa pa lang. But 16 is a perfect square and they are separated by a minus sign. But then, hindi nga siya nag-comply dun sa dalawang condition. So, this is also not a difference of 2 squares. So, yan. Now that you know how to identify if the given is a difference of 2 squares, let's learn how to factor difference of 2 squares. So, let's solve this example. Let's say we have example number 1. And we have m squared minus 36. Observing this example, of course, the first term is a perfect square, the second term is a perfect square. They are separated by a minus sign. Therefore, this given is a difference of 2 squares. So how are we going to factor this type of expression? So, madali lang dito. Let's write our solution here. So, in factoring difference of 2 squares, you need to create a 2 binomial na nakalagay sa loob ng parentheses. And then, we will be getting the square root of each term. So, ma'am, paano po yun? So, ganito lang yun. So, diba, this is our given. So, I'm going to erase this first. I'm going to rewrite the given. So this is our given, m squared minus 36. And our answer must be 2 binomials inside the parentheses. Okay? So, paano na po namin makukuha yung terms na nakalagay sa loob ng parentheses? So, we will be getting the square root of each term sa given natin. And the sign of the binomials must be different. Yung isa positive, yung isa negative. So, what is the square root of m squared? That is m. Yun yung magiging first term nyo. What is the square root of 36? That is 6, diba? So, yun yung magiging second given nyo. Therefore, the factored form of the given will be this binomials here. So, quantity m plus 6 and quantity m minus 6. Yun na yung sagot ninyo ngayon. Another example. Let's say we have example number 2. And we have 9c squared minus 16d squared. Okay? So, I'm going to write the factored form here para mas mabilis. And then, solution. Let's rewrite the given. And then, let's get the square root of each term. No? So, positive, negative. So, what is the square root of 9? That is 3. What is the square root of c squared? That is c. Okay, so 3c and 3c. How about in the second term? So, square root of 16, that is 4. Square root of d squared, that is d. So, 4d. Therefore, that will be your factored form. So, 3c plus 4d, quantity 3c plus 4d, and quantity 3c minus 4d. Last example, let's say we have here example number 3. Let's say we have x to the 4th power minus 81. So I'm going to write the factored form here. And then the solution here. So I'm going to rewrite the given. Then let's get the square root of each term para makuha natin yung answer. Now here, napapansin nyo kanina, di ba? Nung 2 yung exponent, nawawala lang siya. Ma'am, paano na pag higher degree na yung exponent? So, isipin nga sa mga radical signs, di ba? Meron ditong 2, invisible 2. So, i-divide nyo lang yung exponent doon. So, ma'am, paano yan? So, ipapakita ni ma'am. So, this will be your answer, no? Binomial, positive, and then negative, or plus minus. So, square root of x to the 4th, that is x raised to 4 divided by 2. That is 2x squared. Okay? Kaya pag binigyan ko kayo ng mga higher level or higher degree, you know how to simplify. So, iset aside muna natin to. Let's say naman, we will be getting the square root of x to the 8th power. Kakalahatiin lang natin si 8. Okay? So, ang sagot dito ay x to the 4th. Nagets ba yon? Of course, madali lang naman yan. How about another, let's say, square root of x to the 20. Yes, power. So, kakalahatiin niya lang ulit. So, x to the 10th power. Ganun lang siya i-solve. Okay? So, dito, the answer is x squared. How about this? What is the square root of 81? So, that is 9. Okay? So, therefore, we can now conclude that the factored form of the given is x squared plus 9 and x squared minus 9. I'm going to move here. Move this. Ayaw niyang magalaw. So that's how you factor difference of two squares. Very easy, right?